and then Nebbiolo. Nebbiolo is probably the famous one because Italian wine is confusing.
Why not? Yeah.
You often won't.
Happy holidays, everyone. We are back here at the WPG Winedown. I am Mark Adam, joined again, as always, by our resident somm, Alex Allardyce.
That's me.
Yay! Now, again, we have to take our masks off in order to taste the wine and whatnot.
More like we get to take our masks off.
Also, yes. Oxygen. How I've missed you.
Yes.
Yeah. So, also, it plays with my beard. The mask.
I wouldn't know.
You know what a wonderful Christmas present would be?
What?
No more COVID.
Katie, can you make that happen for him?
No more COVID? That's not something our assistant director can do?
No.
Not part of her world anyway.
Not so much.
So, it is Christmas in a couple days. Mm-hmm. It's going to be festive times.
Yeah.
I'm sure many will be imbibing. We are going to talk about a particular wine that Alex has chosen as a Christmas recommendation.
Yes.
You don't have to get this specific wine if you don't want to, but something in this sort of world might go well at a holiday-themed party, I might say. So why don't we get to it? I'll open it up.
Yeah, so we decided today that I've opened 3 bottles now. So thought we'd see if Adam, of course, we were talking like you probably opened more bottles than I have, but I was like, you know what, Adam, you can open this bottle. And we were going to, oh wow, that was pretty smooth. But I was like, you know what, Adam, you can open this bottle. And we're, but yeah, so we were actually thinking we're going to decant this bottle as well. So I decided to pick out kind of a special bottle for Christmas. That's something that I always do. I get excited about, well, there's lots of good things about Christmas, but one of the things I look forward to is kind of opening a few special bottles over the holiday season. And so I decided to open one today, and we will likely finish the bottle.
Your wine key. I don't know if I like it
after
or
this
not.
video. Really? That's one of my favorite ones.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
But yeah, so I've picked out, this is Principiano. They're a producer in northern Italy from the Piedmont region.
So I'll hand this over to you
yes,
for...
thank you. That was pretty good.
What? Pretty good.
No, I'm just kidding. It was very good. So this is a Barbera d'Alba. So what that means, Barbera is the name of the grape. Have you heard of that grape before?
No.
No?
I did not know that was a grape. I thought that was the winemaker.
Nope. So Principiano. Well, and this is like what we were talking about with the French Côte d'Aron. Sometimes like European wine labels are, not sometimes.
They're indecipherable.
Almost all of the time. They're very confusing.
Like, who's the winemaker? What is the wine? What are you calling
Which is the region,
wine?
which is the grape. Yeah, it's very confusing. So in this case, Principiano is a producer. Barbera d'Alba is the name of the wine.
Okay.
But Barbera is the grape, Alba is the region. So it's like the grape Barbera of Alba.
Right.
So Alba are these hills that are in Piedmont in northern Italy.
Okay.
Honestly, Piedmont is one of the most confusing, other than Germany, which I think I mentioned before.
Yeah, you did.
I'm triggered. But Piedmont is actually probably one of the most confusing areas to try to like learn about wine, because there's so many different hills and regions that like overlap with each other, and different like grapes are called different things in different regions. It's very confusing.
Okay. All right.
But
so I'm not. Don't just ignore.
Don't even get
Italy.
me started.
Just ignore Italy.
But
and Germany and Italy and Germany.
Yeah. So Alba is one of the very famous kind of like ranges of like mountains or hills in northern Italy, and that's where
not to be confused with the Alps.
Correct. Yeah. And that's where Barbera does very, very well. You'll also sometimes see Barbera d'Asti, which is, again, it's Barbera from Asti, which is another range of hills.
d'Asti?
Exactly, yeah.
Okay.
So that's Moscato from those hills as well.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So there's a few grapes that do really well in northern Italy, and they're famous for, Barbera's one of them for sure. Moscato, absolutely. Dolcetto is another one you'll see. And then Nebbiolo. Nebbiolo is probably the famous one. Because Italian wine is confusing.
Why not? Yeah,
you often won't see Nebbiolo on the label. You'll see Barolo.
Okay,
so you've heard of Barolo. Nebbiolo is the grape there.
Okay, see, I knew what a Barolo
Yeah.
was. I'd never heard Nebbiolo.
Yeah, exactly. So those three, like the three red grapes.
This is why I'm not a somm. This exact.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot.
Just let me taste the wine. That's what I want to. Anyway.
Yeah, so those three grapes, like Dolcetto, Barbera, and Nebbiolo, are all very different from each other. Nebbiolo is kind of like, that's the famous wine, like Barolo.
Yeah.
I feel like most people have heard of Barolo. That's famous from that region.
Yes.
Barbera and Dolcetto are not quite so famous, but I honestly love Barbera a lot. Like, I love Dolcetto too, but Dolcetto more, like, if you go to northern Italy, Dolcetto is their table wine.
Have you, like, in your service experience, have you been asked for a Barbera? Because I know, like, I've
never
for a long time. I've worked in the service industry, and I've been asked for a number. Like, people will come and say, "Can I get a Barolo? What Barolos do you have?"
Yeah.
And we,
well, because it's a famous style, though, right? Like, people, they know it, and they're like, "Oh," and this is gonna. I'm not criticizing humanity, but like, people know, and like, "Oh, like, if I order this, like, this is an important wine. If I order it, I sound important." You know what I mean? Like, they think that they're showing that they know about wine, and they do if you know what Barolo is. But yeah, I think a lot of people they know that word, so they like that's why they order it.
So it's like a comfort thing.
Yeah. Whereas like I don't think I've ever had anyone ask for a Barbera, but I'll recommend it to people because I really like Barbera. Like Barbera is very, it's very bright. It's very actually not well.
Well, yeah. Can we? Have it?
Sorry, Adam's twitching over here. I'll decant it. But yeah, Barbera. It's very bright. It's very like red fruit. It's really refreshing.
Can we pause for a moment?
Sure.
For you to explain what you're doing.
Oh yes, I am decanting.
We haven't. This is episode 4. We have not done this before.
Oh, that's true. This is new.
This is the first time we've decanted something. So
we're going to talk about why we're decanting.
Why would you bother?
Right. So there's a couple of reasons why.
We sort of mentioned it on a previous episode, but
yeah. Well, there's a couple of reasons why you would decant, and that's actually a common question I get is like, do you have to decant all red wines? Like, why do you decant? And like the answer is no. Like, I don't even know that we had to decant this wine, but I'm getting ahead of myself. So there's a few reasons why you do. An easy reason is because a lot of the time in wines, especially if you've aged them a bit, there's going to be a bit of sediment in the bottom. If you've ever poured out a bottle of wine and there's like
it's like chewy at the bottom.
Bits in the bottom. That's why you would just decant off the sediment. So that's why if you saw when I was decanting, I was kind of looking at the bottle.
For sediment, yeah.
Yeah, and I did stop pouring just a tiny bit, just in case there was any little bits. Yeah, because I don't really want to chew my wine like I would if I had to.
Some people love that, but I'm not into it. No. Not into it.
So that's one reason. Another reason why is like in a really like high quality wine or like something that's really well made, you just want to decant it to let it open up because sometimes like wines can be tight, we call it.
Yeah, but okay, so just for the noobs, because we've all heard the term, let that breathe, let it open up. Like, what does that mean?
Right. So that's like when we've been swirling our wines in the past 2 episodes, we're letting in oxygen, which allows the aromas to develop and open up. So when we decant, we're doing that exact same thing.
Right.
So just the act of like having the wine pour down, slosh all around, we're letting in more oxygen.
It's like swirling your wine.
Yeah, and we're letting the wine breathe. Like sometimes if you're doing a tasting with like Bordeaux or Burgundy or something, like really nice stuff, you might want to decant them a couple hours before you taste them to let them like then sit in the decanter and let them open up. Because if you look, actually this is a good decanter to do. If you look, there's that much of the wine is being exposed to oxygen then. You've increased the surface area that is in contact with oxygen.
Yeah.
Sometimes for wine it's enough to just pop the cork and just let it sit open, and just this is enough.
And it also depends on how long you're going to leave it there too.
Right.
So it's the amount of time that wine has to interact with the oxygen.
Yeah. And there is something to be said, like a lot of people ask like, oh, do you just decant every wine? Like, no. You can for like cheaper bottles, but you're not going to do anything.
The benefit ratio.
It's kind of lost. Like you're not going to hurt it.
The effort to
but
benefit
sure, if you want.
There.
And sometimes in the service industry you do that just because just for like show at the table almost. It's always nice to pour out of a nice decanter, and it's a nice experience for the guest. But that being said, if you were like opening up a really old bottle of wine, you do not want to decant that sometimes, because when the wine is so old, by the time you open it, any oxygen that gets to it is going to start deteriorating it. 'Cause that like those wines are almost on the downward kind of slope there, and you open those and you drink them because every like 10 minutes it's open, it's getting older and older, and it's not going anywhere good.
Okay.
And those wines are phenomenal, but you drink them as soon as you open them.
But
You do not open them for hours because by the time you get to it, it's gone.
Okay, so
they're very short-lived.
So note, expensive wines from older vintages, open and drink. Do not decant.
Yeah, and I'm talking like
pro tip,
like very old, and it's like I often find like with wine, like what was your question? Like why do you decant or which wines do you decant? Did I really answer? It's like, well, if this, then this, and if this, like sometimes the answer, we always joked in class all the time, sometimes the answer is it depends. And that's always the answer. Like with wine, like, oh, what about the, oh, well, it depends. But like there's never like this is the answer. Like it just
Fair.
But that's why like I studied for years, right? Because still I don't even really know.
I was more like, why are you decanting it?
Right.
And the basic reason is you're
letting
allowing it to
yeah.
oxygenate.
Yeah.
So,
also, we love this decanter, and it's so pretty, and we wanted to use it on one of our episodes.
Yeah. 100%.
But yeah. Remember we were discussing how to pour?
Right, yeah. But
Should we pour from this end?
Yes, yeah. Like
comment below which end do you think we should pour from?
I feel like
I like this one though.
I know, but if somebody overfilled it at all and you start pouring out of here, it's also going to pour out of here.
Yeah. So should I pour from this end?
I would pour like you're watering in your plants.
That's true. Because we used this decanter once before one of your dinner parties.
It's got some velocity. Oh. That goes fast, eh?
Yeah. This is fun. I just like pouring from decanters also.
And now I don't have
That is why I decant.
Now I don't have to swirl it as much to activate those flavors.
Right, because we've already kind of done that
because
also.
that's what happens in the decanting process.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm going to slide this bottle back here. We'll put the decanter back here.
Perfect. Well, I can smell this wine from here.
Honestly, me too.
Yeah.
But that would that also have been because we decanted it, so it's sort of activating?
Yeah, it could be. This is also just like a gorgeous wine. I don't even feel like I talked about it enough. Like I was so excited to pour this today. Like Principiano, they are really, really good winemakers in Piedmont. They're, like we were talking about in one of our previous episodes, they farm organically as well. And you don't see a lot of that in northern Italy, actually, believe it or not. Like there's not a lot of that stuff going on. So we're really lucky to have these wines in our market. And this is a single vineyard Barbera as well. Talking about how confusing the labels are. Laura is actually the single vineyard. That's the name of the vineyard where this fruit was sourced from. So anyways, it's a really special wine. And as we go through...
You could take an entire course just on how to read a wine label.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like, that could be a whole thing on its own.
Yeah.
To figure out, like, okay, now that we've read the label and figured it out, there's a whole other course on, like, what does that mean?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, God. So we're looking at the wine...
it's got legs for days.
Oh yeah, it actually does. Like
it's got some grip.
Yeah, but yeah, so it's pretty like ruby color. It's pretty deep. I just want to drink it, so let's get to the nose right away.
Okay, all right.
I know you're on board with me there.
I'm so not going to argue you.
Ooh, that's interesting, eh? So
interesting is, yeah.
That's my word. I say that a lot, but yeah. So I get a lot of like red fruit. It's actually darker than I thought it would be. And that's the interesting thing about wine. Like I think textbook Barbera, and maybe I'm wrong, but the way I have it in my mind is it's mostly red fruit. But then I don't know, that's textbook, right? It's like so many producers. Here. Yeah, that's what I mean. It's dark. Like there's some dark fruit in this one actually, and that's the way the winemaker has decided to, or even not even the winemaker, that's the region. That's the way, that's just how it is. But it is. It's like it's earthy and there's I think like white pepper or something is like a tasting note in Barbera. Like
I could totally see that.
Yeah.
It's
very like earthy and
it's nice though.
Yeah, it's like licoricey too. There's like a black licorice almost, or
like an anise sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not getting that as much.
It smells like black, you know.
Oh, maybe.
Like the color black. It smells like the color
black. Ooh, that's a pretentious statement right there. Sorry, we're trying to keep this a non-pretentious.
Yes.
But
here we go.
Yeah. Some of the Somm training coming out.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway,
let's drink
I'm going to drink this now.
Wow. Okay, that's Barbera.
That is a lot.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, it's very bright.
It's like light and fruity, but also like...
It's like high acid. There's like tannin there. There's more tannin than I thought, actually.
Yeah, it's stuck.
Yeah.
All in
It's
gums.
very like bright fruit, and not in the way like we were talking about Garnacha in the episode with the Côte d'Aron, and that's like, to me, like that's bright and fruity as well. But this is like searing. Like it is like, it's not like juicy in the sense of like jammy, like really soft fruit. It's like I'm awake now. Like
it's it's definitely like it's sharp.
Yeah.
Like,
okay, but that's why.
Can that be a flavor note, like sharpness?
Oh, totally. I know exactly what you mean, and that's why I picked this wine for our like Christmas episode, because with like Christmas dinner, I don't know, like everyone's families are a bit different, but like turkey with cranberry sauce, This wine with cranberry sauce, wouldn't that be great? Like, doesn't that not like cranberry, like tart cranberry?
Now that you say that, on the tongue, like not on the nose, but on the tongue, there is that hint of cranberry,
right? Like just that tartness, like the sharpness you're talking about,
like a very, very heavy flavored cherry with cranberry to it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And that's
not one of those
Barbera.
maraschino sweet garbage cherries. Like
I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, like a dark cherry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, that's a lot. It's good though.
This wine is gorgeous. And even like if you do like a stuffing or something with lots of herbs, like sage and that kind of stuff, I think that will play really well with the wine too, because there is like an earthiness. And
it's Christmas in 2 days. What would you say? Is this
more turkey wine? Yeah, so definitely I would say like Barbera for sure can be fantastic with like I don't want to say Christmas dinners, holiday dinners. I should say holiday dinner.
Yeah, well, be more inclusive. But
yeah.
Merry Christmas if that's your thing. Happy holidays or whatever.
This goes good with food.
Yeah, just
or just drink it.
Take advantage of the days off work and.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, like Pinot Noir is a classic like holiday dinner kind of wine for sure. Like that's always my go-to.
Could you put this wine in a place where you would normally put a Pinot Noir, or are you thinking more?
No, I think so. Like if you're doing your traditional spread, yeah, for sure.
Because I know Pinot Noir is one of those wines that sort of bridges the gap between like what you would pair with a white wine and what you would pair with a red wine. With a Pinot Noir, you could go kind of either way.
Right, but that's why. So like if you're doing like turkey or something, Pinot Noir can be really good. Because like when I think about like pairing wines with holiday dinners is challenging because there's so many different elements. You're not just pairing to the turkey. You're pairing to like cranberry sauce, like stuffing, potatoes. Like there's a million different.
There's a lot of flavors happening.
In Manitoba, there's often like pierogies or cabbage rolls on the table.
Too, right? Like this wine is both fruity and
right. So that's why you almost need your
peppery
wine to match like with like everything that's going on the table. Like it has to stand up to that, you know, and that's where like Barbera or Pinot Noir with the high acidity, like that'll like make your mouth water. So it'll kind of it pairs with everything. Like you don't want to throw like a Zinfandel on the table. I don't think. Well, again, like we were talking about, just drink what you want. That's what matters the most. But yeah, there's certain wines that will definitely pair better with things. But yeah, I don't know. I think this Barbera is absolutely fantastic.
This is definitely a wine that we can drink right through the holidays. Pair it with your favorite dinner. Let us know what you think. If you've had this wine, what are you pairing with your Christmas dinner? We want to know. Put it down in the comments. We would love to know what you're drinking.
Yeah. Okay. Cheers, everyone. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
COVID cheers.